This is Michael Popak, Legal AF. Let us never forget that Jan 6 insurrectionists are still being brought to justice by the Department of Justice and are being sentenced to jail and prison by federal judges. Today, I'm going to talk about Pink Hat Lady, also known as Bullhorn Lady, aka Rachel Powell, a Western Pennsylvania 40-year-old woman with 8 children and 4 grandchildren who decided it was a good idea to use an ice axe to break open a window at the Capitol, and once inside, start directing people on how to hold the building and take the building using a makeshift bullhorn that she made out of cardboard, wearing a pink hat, sunglasses, and carrying a very distinctive Kate Spade handbag. All the things you do when you're going to be an insurrectionist. She was so bad, Rachel Powell, that she had attended the original speech with Donald Trump with 2 other people she drove down with from Pennsylvania, and even they were shocked that she left the ellipse and marched and charged and became an insurrectionist attacking the Capitol. How do we know so much about Rachel Powell? Well, remarkably, she's one of the only insurrectionists that I know that actually, before she was caught, gave a full-blown interview to a journalist, which was published in the New Yorker magazine. The author or the reporter, Ronan Farrow, the celebrated and accomplished investigative reporter and son of Mia Farrow, he had a full interview with her. So many times during the interview, she said, I need a lawyer. I think I need a lawyer. I'm not comfortable in talking. But then she just went on talking. Let me just remind you, this is before she was arrested by the FBI. She was not arrested in the beginning days after the insurrection. It took a number of people to get her arrested and brought to justice, including a number of online sleuths and online sleuth organizations that try to find insurrectionists using social media and other purposes. And in this case, the deep state dogs identified her quickly from the article of Ronan Farrow. But it wasn't that hard. When you have an article in the New Yorker magazine that's entitled A Pennsylvania Mother's Path to Insurrection, which name her by name. At one point during the interview, Ronan Farrow actually showed her the video, everybody's seen the video, of her breaking the window of the Capitol with an ice axe. And her comments were, and I'm going to read them to you because I don't want to get this wrong. Her comments were, to try to deflect attention to it, in another video, this is from the article by Ronan Farrow, Powell and other rioters are seen using a makeshift battering ram to shatter one of the Capitol windows. She pulls, Powell, the heavy pipe-shaped object back. That turned out to be an ice axe, and throws her weight forward against it repeatedly. And Powell says to the reporter, to Ronan Farrow, quote, that's one of those things I can neither confirm nor deny, she said. I just need to talk to an attorney. If you look at the video, people are just going to make their own assumptions. And yet another video, Mr. Farrow continues, Miss Powell stands outside a broken window shouting instructions through the bullhorn to rioters inside. Powell says, I've been in the other room. This is what she says to her fellow rioters. I've been in the other room, and appears to outline a plan involving breaking a pane of glass to get into another part of the Capitol. And then she starts revealing her knowledge of the building's layout. This is a woman who used to sell yogurt and cheese at her local farmer's market in Pennsylvania and posted, before COVID, posted more photos on her social media about yoga than she did MAGA. But she became full-blown MAGA during COVID. She said she became very patriotic during COVID. By her brand of patriotism, she means Rudy Giuliani, Donald Trump, and Alex Jones, the QAnon conspiracy theorist, who, by the way, Ms. Powell, I'm not sure if you know this, and you have a lot of children and grandchildren, Alex Jones believes and told his listeners and followers that the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre of children and teachers was a false flag event and never really happened. It was made up. Just in case you wondered. But she doesn't care about her children because she showed up at trial that went on in May, which was a bench trial, not in front of a jury, because she waived her right to a jury trial. I guess she figured she'd never get a pass by a jury, so she thought she'd try it with Royce Lamperth, a Republican appointee, but not a Trumper. And she didn't. She lost in the trial. She brought her children to the courthouse, one of which was wearing a MAGA hat that she claimed on her social media was given to her by Donald Trump. So she is a Donald Trump worshiping, a souvenir collecting, child endangering mother of 8, grandmother of 4 that's now going to jail for 4 years. 1 year for every one of her grandchildren, apparently. She could have probably gone away for a lot longer, but given that she had been, not radicalized until COVID, the judge gave her a break, I guess, on the conviction and on the sentencing. But she's going away for 4 years and will come out as a convicted felon and won't be able to vote for a long, long time. The radicalization of Powell, as outlined by Ronan Farrow in the New Yorker article, is fascinating. She was relatively apolitical before COVID, and COVID, drove her round the bend. There's no other way to put it. She went cuckoo. COVID occupied the real estate in everybody's mind to a certain degree. You either let it occupy a broom closet or it became a palatial estate in your head. And for her, it took up all her gray matter and led her down this dangerous and path of insurrection and this traitorous QAnon hole that she found herself falling within, and got activated and got created basically a sleeper cell for Donald Trump. It started just before, if you're looking for a trigger event or the gateway drug for her becoming a insurrectionist storming the Capitol and using an ice axe to break a window and then coordinate people inside as like a military operation. She went to Gettysburg, one of the scenes of one of the greatest battles during the Civil War. I've been there myself as a child. And, it's very moving, how many Confederate soldiers and Union soldiers died there at the battle while Abraham Lincoln was president. And but a lot of crazies use it as in a totemic way, as a touchstone for their nutty brand of patriotism. And she met other nutty patriots there. And at one point, they surrounded 50 of them, including her. This is before the Jan 6th insurrection. They surrounded a Black Lives Matter protester right at the height of that, the apogee of that protest movement and that civil rights movement, and started, violently, aggressively questioning him. And she recorded it all, not helping the man, not helping the poor person being surrounded by 50 white people. She recorded it on our cell phone, and there's pictures of her recording it on her cell phone, wearing the same glasses and carrying the same Kate Spade bag. Note to future insurrectionists: change your clothes before you go to various insurrectionist activities. Wear different clothes. Don't bring the same handbag twice, because that'll get you caught. And she was caught. No surprise when you're splashed all over a New Yorker article by the great Ronan Farrow. You're going to get caught by the FBI and brought to justice. And she was within 3 months' time, and trotted those kids in with the red hat and the MAGA hat, and posted it on social media that she got her red hat. There's some other disgusting things on social media too, like she's used the N-word and that type of thing. And that's not why she's going to jail. But it does paint a fuller picture of who Rachel Powell is. Pink hat lady, bullhorn lady, and now convicted felon going to jail for 4 years in our Federal Bureau of Prison system. I like to report on the Jan 6th insurrectionist trials and sentencings because it's important that we never forget, as we focus other attention on things around the world that are serious, important, and troubling, and the Donald Trump show as it moves like a cheap carnival from town to town as he tries 7 cases in 9 months because of all the bad, wrongful, and illegal things that he did. It's important to continue to focus on the few thousand people that used to be patriotic Americans that went off the rails and attacked the cradle of our democracy, the Capitol, trying to assassinate our elected officials, and to find out what happened to them, right? The news cycle here moves on, but we at Legal AF don't. And we report this because we can never get justice fatigue. These things matter. and people being brought to justice and being sent to, for a long period of time to make big rocks into little rocks while they sit in prison is important to our justice system. Public trials are important to our justice system, and the sentencing of people who tried to overthrow democracy is important to our justice system. And I'll bring it to you right here on the MeidasTouch Network, one place exclusively, on hot takes just like this one. We pull it all together, hot takes between the two co-leaders of Legal AF, Karen Friedman Agnifilo and Ben Meiselas. We bring it to you in hot takes. And then on Wednesdays and Saturdays, we do the leading podcast at the intersection of law, politics, and justice. We call it Legal AF. It's exactly what you think. Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., Saturday nights at 8 p.m., and then on audio podcast platforms wherever you get that from. If you like what I'm doing here, give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. It helps with the ratings and the algorithms and keeps this show, if you will, on the air. Until my next hot take, until my next episode of Legal AF, this is Michael Popok reporting on Rachel Powell being sentenced to 4 years in prison for her role in the attack on democracy.
Hey, Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.